again for the next round. John, looking at both these drafts, do you have an outright... Why are you laughing, John? What have you seen this time?
I just see the predictions pop out, and some of them are just so hard to predict. Last player to be killed. How would you know when they decide to call GG? Sometimes they GG out, and a support runs up and dies anyway. It's
Well, who is it, John?
very hard to guess that. I don't know. Last player to be killed. I want to say you saved the best for last. You're probably just gonna kill. Well, maybe not best for last, but you're probably just gonna kill. I don't know. I feel like Yang dies last before GG's out for either side.
Is it last player to be killed before the game ends, or last player to be killed out of the 10 players?
No.
What?
No. Before the game ends.
Oh.
Like literally last player to be killed, right? Like so in the context of just that standalone statement, that should be in the context of this game as a whole. So
are you sure?
That should be
30 seconds to battle.
You know what? I don't know. Just pick whatever you want. I have no clue. I don't know anymore. I would assume common sense would dictate last player to be killed. Okay. As a blank statement, that sounds like the last player to be killed in the game before it ends.
Wow.
But I guess some people could interpret it as last player out of the 10 players
you've got
to be killed. If someone, yeah, you could read it either way, I guess.
Joe, you've got 7 seconds. What's the other answers? Quick, 5 seconds.
I don't even have enough time. You held me up in that one. It's just gonna lock in with nothing. Thank you, Mike. I've got nothing.
Oh.
Thank you.
Oh. Sorry, John. Oh, it was a legitimate question, though. It was a legitimate question. As a, native English speaker, John, it can mean either thing.
And I suppose I'm just trying without context in that verbal cue. Last player to be killed. It's just literally last player killed. And then the game ends, right? So I think this will update every time someone dies until GG's called. That sounds, again, logical. And we're going away from English here. Looking at mid, you've got XM up against QAQ. Again, this is also not an easy time for QAQ. They do shift QAQ onto the mid. I believe we've seen this from him before when he was trying to play Lina, I think, at the one game, or that might have been a different team. Still, QAQ up against XM. It does feel pretty alright for the Pangolier. It's actually not that bad. You can clear through Refraction, you can poke with Swash. QAQ is going to have to work some creative angles for the side blades. If XM can gap close and get the shield crash off, well, he's going to be even, just slightly more durable. And going back to what you said, without the small camps, the TA does feel like it goes a lot slower.
Lane 7E, he's not having a good time right now on that Wind Ranger. He's going to Fairy Fire up, but is still going to drop. That's the thing, you go for Power Shot level 1, fair enough. You want to secure that range creep. Problem is, you don't have the Wind Run, so BAB is just going to have his way with you. And I think you've got to be very cautious, the Wind Ranger, to come back to the lane now. Still need a couple creeps to be able to hit that level 2 mark. BAB, he might be able to get aggressive here with Frisk. They do hit level 2 on the Snapfire, so you do have Cookie up. 7E, is he going to be alright? Positioning's pretty good. Looks like he's going to be fine.
Yeah, I'm surprised that he does opt for that. It does give that window out for VG to get aggressive, and BAB does find a very, very nice kill for themselves down bot, and of course Frisk does take it in the end. Down the line, this duo of Wind Ranger and Phoenix can get nice and aggressive once you do have a value point in the shackles. If you lock someone down, you can just bombard them with Fire Spirits, dive in, and kind of just get some good DOT. You don't have the best counter control on the side of VG outside of Cookie. So there's a lot of play there for the side of CDEC, but it will take some levels. And just, it kind of takes some time to ramp up, which Viper does enjoy playing against.
Of course, that top lane's the one last lane we haven't really talked about yet. Erika and Yang going to be up against the Enigma and Imitator, of course. This lane, John, it does feel a little bit rough, even as the Enigma. Like, sure, you're going to be able to deny creeps very easily with the Eidolons, but against the Undying, you're not really going to be able to get too close, and it feels like Erika's going to have a pretty free lane for himself.
Yeah, he just gets to stand back. If things do get dicey, just go in with the dagger. And he's kind of just weaving the lane right. Every single time you go for this pull play on the Enigma and just kind of drag the creep wave back, you're just giving ample opportunity for the PA to for Erika to stand back with a stifling dagger. So you're not able to really harass back. The Tiny does take levels to really get aggressive as well. And with what we've talked about with the Undying, every time you do try to gap close anyway, you're going to be losing a lot of strength, opening up some potential for a turnaround with the early Tombstone up on Yang. So Imitator's just gonna have to play it slowly. And this is a fairly greedy lane. Good toss back though, but no real follow through yet.
Yeah, it's a toss back. Yang, he's going to walk away. Tombstone is up. Decay is there. Yang still not dropping Tombstone. Now Will, and Imitator has gone too far. He'll be gone here, I think. Erica will just chase him down and take him out. It's always the risk. Even the Enigma now. Oh, the zombies are still going. Erica, he'll chase him down. He has another dagger out, but he won't dive the tier 1. He's not going to risk it. Maleficus was up. It was a risk for the PA to make it. Erica, he'll be more than happy to sit in the lane and just keep farming. And that is exactly what he'll do. And sadly, with the toss back, again, on Undying, it's a risk.
Yeah, he can just easily turn back. He's got a lot of HP. He is down to 1 mango on Yang. There's not many spells left to play with, and that should be a little bit of an opening for Imitator until a reset or further region comes out. Already a strong start for VG, though. Starting to really build up. 0-2, less than 1k lead, but that kind of early aggression for both the safe and off lane is huge. Like, the PA gets a bit of a faster timing into the corrosion, into the boots, into the battle fury potentially, and that doesn't feel great. The lane down bot for 7E is still fairly rough, and your uptime on Windrun isn't the best without investment too.
Bot lane, it's so rough. Icarus dive was up, he doesn't use it. Now 7E, he's gonna try and trade. I don't think you can with the Viper, even with Windrun up. He'll back off. Frisk is around the corner looking for a Scatterblast as well. 7E, he cops that Scatterblast, he's dead. Frisk, he's having a look around. 7E doing the smart thing and just holding by the tier 1, but now that Observer Ward's still giving vision for Frisk. He's walking in, Salve is there, but oh, he's barely gonna be able to survive. Nice Salve cancellation though. 100 gold down the drain here for 7E.
Yeah, this lane is just kind of done. 7E is going to wind run back, try to reset, give some EXP to Undyne, but BAB's going to have a really free time. Already has the earn up, using the charges on that Wind Ranger the entire time. And you have no play to stop it, like really. I mean, again, eventually if you did have the value point in Shackle Shot, that's a lane you could play, but that means not leveling up Wind Run, which means you don't survive the lane anyway.
Very true. I had a thought as well, John. A bit of a stupid question here for you. Undying versus Enigma. Do you feel like Undying's somewhat of a counter Enigma during the laning stage, considering like Decay does double the damage to the Eidolons? I realize at level 1 it does 0 damage now, but Yang has leveled it up to level 2. What do you think about that? Like, is Enigma kind of good against, or rather Undying good against Enigma now in lane? Like, hold that thought, because bot lane, speaking of Undying, he's going to die here down to the bot lane of the Phoenix. But back to the question, John, what are you thinking?
In a way it is. You don't really want to expend your decay on clearing out Eidolons. I'd say it's more of, say, value that you get from the Soul Rip. It actually feels really good. You're going to get a lot of burst healing out, especially as the levels go up in that, because you're always going to have a good amount of Eidolons around. So you have a good nuke on hand. I think you might actually want to leave the Eidolons alive just to get that heal or burst down on a hero.
Right. That's fair. Currently 0-4 right now, John. Vici Gaming. Well and truly in the lead. Only real positive right now for CDEC is the fact that this TA is having a pretty decent time in terms of net worth. Bottom lane against 7E, just dropping so darn low. The early earn timing as well, just making it very hard for this Wind Ranger as Frisk. Scatterblast up in 3, he's not going to catch the Wind Ranger this time. Though 7E is underneath another Observer Ward. Frisk, he's doing a great job with these wards. Looking for a Scatterblast, waiting for the salve, I think. Undyne's got one, doesn't want to pop it. In fact, never mind, it's actually the Wind Ranger who's going to try and run and Frisk. Not going to be able to find it. 7E, he's going to be just fine. Meanwhile, top lane, Yang is going to find Imitator.
Yeah, they just managed to really run down this lane very well. XM gets a rotation out, gets a good roll. They're still trying down bot though.
They're going to try Frisk. He's still going to turn around. Cookie's going to land. Scatterblast connects. You get the snapfire, but it's going to cost your life. It's not a good trade for CDEC, not whatsoever. Meanwhile, top lane, another fight to break out as now the Enigma being chased down. Soul Rip is there by Yang. Avalanche, however, Imitator going to try and turn this one around. This is onto the Pango, but XM still finds the kill, but he gives his own life away this time. So not a bad trade up a top lane for CDEC, but this bottom lane's a complete disaster.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. And killing off XM is pretty nice. You did want to kind of slow down the Pango, counteract his effective rotations. It is giving QAQ some necessary build-up as well to be around for some of these kills. But they don't really have the room to, say, stack up massively for this TA. And even if they did, already some preemptive wards that came out from Yang to at least block the Ancient. So you're getting the start you want from VG. You're kind of dictating what happens in this game. You're the one forcing all the movements out. You've got some really good deep wards outside of just that one behind the tier 1 bot, which Undyne will fall to once more. But you've already got the early triangle ward, so you know exactly where QAQ's farming. You just have so much control on the map even without taking any of these towers. CDEC has to get their own vision game in check. Like, they've got to be able to figure out whenever VG comes in, like an early Radiant jungle ward would help massively for CDEC in avoiding some of this movement here.
You see the smile there on BAB. He's having a very fun time right now. I mean, he's playing Viper, John. I don't know if he should really be smiling about that, but there he is. Look at that. There's a casual smirk on his face at the moment. He's happy.
Yeah, there's something about Viper players, man. They just
Sickening.
enjoy playing these sickening, hard to deal with heroes. And for props to him, he's having a great time. A bit of an opening up top for CDEC to kind of shove in that top tier 1. And you have the Eidolon armored around, so doesn't take too much to do that, although.
I could have sworn the projectile didn't connect in time on that regen rune, as 7E now going to find Yang on the Undying. Nice little pick up for the Wind Ranger. Actually has the Javelin up, so even with this terrible kind of laning stage that 7E had, he still has the Javelin, which means he can find solo pickoffs quite easily, especially onto the supports of Vici Gaming. Speaking of Vici, top lane, they've smoked up as 2. Having a look around for this Enigma. See if they can find him. He will show himself in the tree line eventually. Those Eidolons being spawned up, they will go with the Rolling Thunder, and eventually they're going to find him. Bye-bye. That'll be another for XM.
Just handing it over to the Pangolier. Build up into the defusal. Shouldn't take too long for XM to find. Again, a little bit of room coming out for CDEC to play onto mid. They've got the siege creep this time. A lot of poke damage onto that tower. Only really Yang around to kind of try to stall this out. But the damage is being done, and Vici isn't really responding in force. Like, they're still gonna get damage a lot. 7E can tank a couple of those tower hits as well, enabling more damage. So a good amount of chip done, and smoke out here.
BAB, yeah, bot lane, they'll find the Viper. A bit of sweet revenge here, though. BAB, he's going to try and turn, but surely doesn't have damage. That's a lot of damage being dealt to QAQ, actually losing half his HP, but it's not quite enough. QAQ, he'll be happy with that kill.
And they are starting to really invest quite well onto that TA. Black hole up top.
Yeah, Frisk, he's going to get caught. They'll take the solo pick off from the Enigma. Very early black hole to be committed, but this early on, John, you'd rather just get it on cooldown and secure a kill if you can. Especially considering the Enigma's had a pretty rough laning stage as well.
Yeah, you're more than happy to just find something. It's not like you're expecting massive black holes at, within the first 15 minutes of game. So you do get some value there, and you are still playing poke at that top tier 1. The response is coming out from VG though. TP's coming out.
You'd be worried, level 7 Yankee. He's got that flesh golem up and will pop it immediately. Toss back into Undyne. He does have egg available right now on that Phoenix, but won't pop it yet. Meanwhile, Erica, he'll make the jump in onto the Enigma. They'll find the tombstone, but that's about all they're going to find. But there's the egg being dropped right now. Can they focus this down in time? It doesn't seem like it. Yang, he will drop. So will BAB. They will find 7E, however, on the Wind Ranger. Is this Phoenix? Keep trying to run, but now XM has shown up with the Rolling Thunder. Scatterblast will slow him down. He will try to hide in that corner, but it's not going to be enough. XM able to take another kill for his team. And a successful team fight, I believe, for the side of Vici Gaming.
And it still works out for them in the end. They find more kills. They sacrifice BAB, but it's a Viper who already has his Dragon Lance and Urn. You don't really mind dying. You can kind of create some space now and start to cop all the attention to enable that PA to survive through in these exchanges. So, more than happy with that. 7-13, 3k lead up for VG. You still have issues finding Q8Q. So, the TA is still actually allowed to farm up and does have really good control on the triangle. I mean, VG had that early vision, but haven't been able to play it off the back of it just that much. And you can see, again, a good toss back. The tombstone just kind of melts, and they ignore the eidolons. Like, they do lack the wave clear for that, so eventually all those right clicks did pile up there.
Certainly did. It certainly did, John. There's a great looking team fight midway through for CDEC, but just eventually finding a couple more pickoffs onto the Wind Ranger and, of course, that Phoenix, and suddenly it doesn't look quite as good. Still, I mean, it's 7-13, I believe, in terms of score. 2K net worth lead for the side of Vici Gaming. It's going to be a bit of a smoke up here from 7E, and they will run right into Frisk. Cookie up to the high ground. They've got the vision on the cliff as well. So 7E is able to secure the kill. It does give away that observer ward location, but you still love the kill nonetheless for this Wind Ranger.
You're happy enough to just find more pickoffs. You've already got your Maelstrom, so you kind of want to ramp up into that BKB. Is 70?
He gets the purge out. XM has the diffusal blades. 7E. He's gonna try to run. XM. He'll try for Undyne instead, but never mind. Just chucks a U-turn back the other way. It'll be Rolling Thunder on cooldown, and CDEC, if they have a smoke, they could try and force one. It looks like they're gonna be forced to try and defend mid lane anyway. But Vici Gaming, considering they don't have that Rolling Thunder, I'm not sure if you really want to take this fight.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit tough without that AoE control coming out from XM. You do still have to kind of shove back on mid. That mid-tier 1 on VG's end is still looking really unhealthy at 180 HP. A little bit of a shove, and 7E could probably just kind of backdoor through it anyway without a creep wave. So you are opening up the map a lot more in CDEC, and you're almost at the point where this TA is ready. This is a very different build from QAQ. He goes for the instant MKB. No blink, no deso, no BKB at all. Just straight into the MKB to deal with a PA. Now that could be one really good way of dealing with Erica early on, and they'll also go into the Roche just with a Demon Edge up. With the Eidolons around, they do some good damage here.
Certainly a great build here from QAQ, just the MKB rush makes enough sense. And that Roshan, I mean, it's going down for free right now. BAB, he's going to deny off his mid-tier 1 tower, and well, Vici Gaming, it seems like they have no idea this is happening. They're going to try and eventually make their way over. Scan was there in the last moments, but it's all too late. CDEC able to take the Aegis. That's going to buy more than enough time now for this TA to finish off that MKB. And right after that, he'll go for the blink. It does feel a little bit greedy not going for the BKB against Viper, I'd say, John, but at the end of the day, it seems like QAQ, he's confident that he doesn't need it right now.
It seems like he just has faith in his team to kind of cop all the spell uses. They try to jump in.
7E is going to drop. Mortimer's Kisses will be enough. That'll be the mid-tier 1 tower now under siege here for Vici Gaming. They should have absolutely no problems taking it down.
Fairly straightforward. And the side of CDEC probably just wanting to wait for some items before really committing. And that MKB we've been talking about is pretty much done on QAQ. And Changyu on the Enigma is going to work into his blink. As you mentioned, once you have that blink BKB on the Enigma, on top of the itemization on QAQ, you're not going to be able to stop Black Hole. And if you just focus in on that PA, it's going to die really fast. You don't have any stats on Erica, although they are making a move here.
Toss in, Avalanche is there as well. Frisk still cookie back towards the Tiny, so they find a 1-for-1. It looks like it's Frisk is going to drop. Rolling Thunder, it's not going to allow the Black Hole. Oh, mid-animation. The Rolling Thunder makes it in time from XM.
Oh boy.
Aegis is down as well. Vici, though, they want to try and back off as now the Aegis has gone. QAQ going to move back in with 7E back onto BAB. Soul Rip, it's not going to be enough. They'll lose the Viper. It's not the worst team fight for either side, really. In fact, Vici, they might be happy with the fact that the Aegis is now gone.
I think they're very happy. They just need to wait for the next Rolling Thunder to be up. They've got an opportunity to look for the full punishment on QAQ. His MKB is fully done, but it does feel like if Erica never shows up for these early engagements, then the early MKB also doesn't do much, right? Because you really just get that for the PA and no one else. So if Erica just decides to dodge out until he has maybe a few more stats up, maybe a little bit more strength to play with, then the MKB doesn't really present itself as a big value pickup. And the attack speed's nice, the damage is nice, but it's not softening your targets like it would, say, a Desolator would instead, or it's not protecting you like the BKB would, as you also pointed out there, Mike. So it's just a little bit strange. I feel like you could have gotten away with a more typical build-up and just melt these other heroes a lot faster and deal with the PA later on, as Erica's probably just not showing up.
That's a lot of Sunray damage. Yang, he's just getting burnt alive. He'll barely survive. That's a max Sunray. Not very fun for the Undying, that's for sure. It's now Vici Gaming grouped up in the mid lane. CDEC, they'll still hang around that Radiant jungle. Vici. Trying to have a look around for a fight, it seems. Not able to find a pick-off. Sadly for them as well, there's no mid-tier 1 tower to play around here, so they don't really have an objective in this area. They'll just take over the Radiant jungle once again, maybe get some wards down. 70 does reveal himself with that power shot, but will run right towards the south and should be just fine. With that, both teams, I mean, at least CDEC, they look like they're just playing the avoid game for now. I think up until QAQ has this Blink PKB, you really don't want to try and force a fight.
Yeah, same thing goes for the build-up in Chengya. You really want more protection on that Enigma. They are jumping Erica, but...
They are.
Oh.
Avalanche toss is there. Erica is going to drop 7E with a perfect setup. Frisk not able to stop the TPs happening. So both Imitator and 7E able to get out of there. That's a massive pick-off onto the PA.
They get a huge kill. The one kill they really, really want to find. The progress on Erica is actually slowing down. They're making mass TPs top.
Sam. Rolling Thunder is going to be out. No blink up on QAQ yet. Mortimer's Kisses are going to fly in and they just have the lockdown. No way out for the TA. Just getting caught with his pants down up at that top tier 2 tower, and Vici Gaming, I mean, they just lost their PA, but they find the opposing POS 1. It's quite bad news for CDEC. Like, you find a great trade, but then you kind of made it, you even it out for Vici.
Vici are more than happy. I think they understand that keeping this TA away from that Blink BKB timing is going to be key for them to have a bit of a better time. Erica is still trying to work onto that Manta style for a little bit more protection. Almost there, but still needs just that little bit of extra time. I think the next concern is the Space Chang'e is still getting again. You've got the blink up in the Enigma. BKB's not too far off. And after that, you really just have no answers. Until maybe you got a Basher or Abyssal on someone, but that's way off the line for the PA and for our Pangolier. So you have a pretty good window here for CDEC to still look for team fights. It's just patience, and they're going to have to wait for those BKBs first. At least QAQ's is almost done. Smoke out from Vici, though. They're not waiting around here.
Yeah, Vici Gaming, 3-man smoke up. The run towards the south. See what they can find. I mean, it's a long wraparound, trying to get through to that Radiant jungle. Problem is, no one's really there from CDEC, and in fact, they might run right into a double damage rune now, CDEC. Eidolons will scout it out, BAB will deny it off instead. Still the wraparound incoming. They're into the Radiant jungle now, Vici Gaming, and they're going to run right into Imitator. There's XM jumping in with the Rolling Thunder now, finding the Tiny, but looking for a bit more. They won't find the Enigma. In fact, TPs are incoming. Undying is here on the Phoenix, but he really can't help out. It's just going to be Imitator to drop. They get everyone else out of there on the side of CDEC. So not the biggest pick-off in the world here for Vici Gaming. Would have much preferred a core to be found out. And at the very least, I suppose they get the information that there is a blink now available on the Enigma. So you know that, and you can be kind of wary of the blink black hole, but it's about all the added information you get out of this.
Try to look around for 7E, does TP out in time. They pop the kisses for that as well. So that is a pretty big spell to kind of bait out from VG's, and starting that push onto the bot. It shouldn't be too tough, but at the same time they don't have anything like a desert. They do have at least a little shredder to help the cause. They are coming in for DD Wool.
Black hole! Black hole's committed. It's only on the Undying though. This is not the greatest black hole in the world. Yang's down at the very least, so you won't have to worry about that Undying anymore. but everyone else from Vici are out of there. Very unfortunate for CDEC. That's a big cooldown to expend for a pos 5 Undying. He won't mind dying for that.
No, and that's also the blink reveal coming out here for Changyu. So you show off your blink. You didn't have your BKB, so at least you don't use a charge for that, but it's not the most impactful black hole. That does stop the push, protecting that tier 2 bot, but it's already at 388 HP. They're still clumping around here, though.
They are mid lane. They're going to try and force a fight. Onto this Tiny they'll go. Imitator is gone. Onto the Phoenix now. He'll Icarus dive away, but XM right behind is going to be able to find him. No problem. Anymore. XM, he's still having a look around. Link forward, trying to find 7E on the Wind Ranger, but he's going to be able to wind run out of there. So Vici Gaming, finding 2 for their trouble. They'll be very happy with that. And luckily for them, John, Roshan is up.
Really good timing for them to dip into that pit. Rush number 2 with a free Ag Shard. Could be massive on so many heroes. Erica's might be the bigger one, but a fan of knives and little these engagements, just melting down some softer targets and applying a nice break to play with. See who they do hand it over, but they do get that Aegis very, very quickly. BKB now being built up for PA as well, not too far off, right after this Manta style. And with the Manta up, Erica should feel a lot more protected. The side of CDEC still grouped up for a fight here, though, it looks like. But Black Hole still on cooldown. Egg still on cooldown as well. Can be a bit rough to just rely on Imitator to get an Avalanche toss back.
Vici Gaming feeling very confident now for sure. Erica working on towards his BKB as well on that PA. Going to make him feel a lot safer throughout these team fights. Because you do have a BKB being worked on by this Enigma. We talked about that during the draft phase. You don't really have a great way of cancelling off the black hole once the BKB is up throughout this game. Maybe once you have a Basher on Erica or even the Pango. There is one coming out on XM, and I suppose that's what they're going to try and do. Just abuse the Basher / Swashbuckle and try to get the Bash that way. Assuming XM obviously doesn't get caught out. What do you think about it, John?
And they have no other choice. That's really the only way they have of stopping the black hole once it's committed on. And again, it's going to take a little bit more for the guaranteed batch, like say in Abyssal. So there is a lot of leeway, a lot of time where the Enigma will feel relatively safe with just the BKB, and even having confidence to just go refresh right after. Like, it's going to be massive once you do have that up. But again, that is time. And that is time where Shangyu isn't really the highest priority for farm. He is above 7E. I think they understand that the Wind Ranger just isn't really the hero you want to hyper invest in. But you are still kind of sinking most of your gold onto that TA, onto QBQ. So it's still a little bit of a juggle in trying to work that net worth onto the Enigma's way. VG for their part, I mean, you know, again, the Bashers can come out, the Abyssals can come out. They're still holding on to Aegis for a good amount of time here. It does feel like they need to do more on the map. They
found BAB. BKB is going to be popped, looking back towards 7E, but that's not going to help his cause. BAB might just drop here and does. Still, the Rolling Thunder is going to find Imitator on that Tiny. QAQ having his refraction burnt out, and now the jump in. Erica right on the Enigma is knocking out Black Hole, but it's going to cost his own life. Aegis down. You have the secondary on the PA. Bash out from XM onto QAQ. He will meld and just blink the hell out of there. Undying, not going to be so lucky, but he has an Icarus knife, so he's fine as QAQ. He went back in. It's going to cost him his own life, though. He's out of mana. Oh. Did not back off. Maybe just trying to help Undying on the Phoenix, but it's not worth the TA's life.
No, definitely not. He had a really good meld blink out and opts to come back in. Tries to play a little bit greedier, looking for more. In fact, speaking of, 7E is still around, but XM kind of misses out in the swash. So doesn't really find the opportunity. Still hanging around the area. The respawns are back up for CDC, so it can be a bit tougher. God damn Yang.
Oh, Yang started. Here we
go. God. I forgot he was spamming it. Yeah, he was on it yesterday. He was just all over the place with those voice lines.
In top lane, Imitator. He's going to cop a stun with this Rolling Thunder. XM still trying. Imitator is going to blink towards the east. XM, still having a look around, is actually going to connect with the swashbuckle, but no bashes fly out. Imitator, he'll go for an avalanche now. Chase is still going. Blink is available in 3 seconds, but he needs to avoid these hits, and it's not going to happen. BAB to take the kill. 12k advantage for Vici Gaming. And it seems like Vici, they'll go right through the top lane now. There are still the tier 1 and tier 2 towers. Why not deal with them while you can?
Radiant's top tower
Yeah.
is under attack.
Shouldn't take them too long, kind of to get that done here with the output on Erica. I like that Erica's just going for more stats, going for a little bit more healing reduction as well, but Scotty coming out here on the PA. And we have completely eclipsed QAQ's TA now. It's just been a little bit too involved, maybe again just a little bit too forward on that TA in a couple of occasions. And the win condition for CDEC starts to shift onto this high ground defense, because their team fight is amazing on CDEC's end. Although, ouch.
Yeah, it hurts when you're against the PA that's farmed like this. You just make an easy jump in with a fan of knives and you are going to die. Speaking of dying, 7E now in trouble. He's going to try and avoid the Rolling Thunder, and does the first time, but is going to get stunned the second. He does have his teammates trying to back him up. In fact, he'll pop the BKB and turn right back around onto XM. Just mans up against the Rolling Thunder, but in comes Yang. With the Tombstone, he'll force them to back. 7E sticking around for a power shot, trying to skip the creep wave. We'll go for a wind run back towards the east tree line. The chase is still going from Vici Gaming. They want this kill, but I don't think they're going to catch 7E this time around. He'll TP out.
He bails out the time, buys a lot of space. This time where Vici's not quite grouping up in the way they'd want. Although they're going, oh, Jesus.
Oh my god. Yeah, never mind. 7E's not going to make it out, John. Eric is a real problem here on this PA.
Yeah, he just does a lot of damage. A lot of stats on hand. Max level coup de grace. You don't even need the Desolator in this case. There's just no one that durable at all from CDEC's end. Outside, maybe Imitator, but he's still stuck at a level 2 grow as well. Opportunity for the high ground opens up here. Black Hole and Supernova are available, so the defense is ready. They just need to find the angle.
Go, Imitator will try. Dagger is out. The Silencer as well. They'll make the jump in. Black Hole is going to be there. Onto 4 heroes. What a setup from our Enigma. Oh, look at that. It only takes one, John. It only takes one.
Yeah, that's all they needed. Shang Yu steps up, sees all of them clumped up, and Vici just gets sucked into the black hole. And the supernova combination, always lovely to see. Again, astrophysics are always fun. And deadly, very, very deadly combination. I mean, you only really have the basher on XM. As you pointed out early on, they need the Pangolier outside of that black hole. They need the Swash to save them. Doesn't quite get his spacing right. Surprised Vici clumped up so hard, because this is the play for CDEC. Like, in an open team fight where it's kind of staggered a little bit more, it's very hard to play, but you just get that black hole onto multiple heroes, and that's your turnaround. That's the power of Enigma. We always say this when that hero's in the game, but it can turn the tide of any game for you. Kind of like a Faceless Void with a good chrono. It's just always relevant into the late game, and it's something VG's draft is just not adjusted for. Like, they really do need that basher to also come out on Erica, although it's a little bit tougher for the PA to kind of try to stop it. XM is working on to an Abyssal Blade and into an Aeon Disc to have some more durability up front. And for the side of CDEC, I mean, that was a good set of kills, right? They do get a little bit of objective taking as well. But you still have this lead from VG, and without the black hole up, they've got the confidence to smoke.
Yeah, they want their revenge after that one, John. Vici Gaming rush through the Radiant Triangle. Nobody going to be around for them to hunt. Everyone on the high ground. CDEC, very good map reading here. Understanding the smoke is probably happening, they will sit back and relax. They need 1 minute for the black hole to be off cooldown. I doubt they smoked before then. There's absolutely no point in doing so. They are grouped up, though. It looks like they might try for this, and they will. All right. They do have a double damage on QAQ, to be fair, so it looks like they're going to try and play off that.
This should make my life easier.
CDEC, Roshan is up. They have this information. Can they sneak it?
Yeah. They certainly can. There is some vision coming out from VG though on the cliff side, so they should be able to see if someone does dip in outside of the smoke, but CDC doesn't risk it. And they only have a few more to wait for that black hole. Might as well have that security for the next team fight. VG still kind of clumped up, and they do re-smoke on CDEC first. So we'll see if that's something VG can read here.
Oh boy. Black hole up in 5. We'll see if he can land another big black hole here on this Enigma as Yang is going to frontline for the team. XM, he'll be there as well. Cookie is going to land onto 7E, but they don't know about it. He is still smoked up. They can't see him. Smoke broken now. 7E, he'll immediately wind run back. They're not in a great position. Vici Gaming have the high ground advantage here, but the jump is in. Imitator looking for a toss back. QAQ's there. XM, he'll get the Rolling Thunder off in time, and he'll make the run right towards the Wind Ranger, but the fight isn't going. Phoenix is going to get the egg off, and now the black hole. He found two of them again, but it's cancelled off. The bash is there. XM will not allow it this time around. Perfect position, and now Erica. He'll make the jump in. He wants a team fight. Undyne gonna back off. Imitator, he might just drop and will do so onto the TA. A nice shackles. Is it gonna matter? Not quite. QAQ, he'll try to run, but it's not looking good for him. He is getting caught out. Frisk will take him down. A great team fight for Vici Gaming, John. It's a 3-for-0 trade. And Roshan is gonna be freely taken by the Dire now.
Yeah, that was a bit dicey. They get the avalanche toss out very early on onto XM, dragging him back, but he just rolls up and bails out, gets the bashes he needs on the man. And if you can't catch out the Pangolier in this black hole, you are gonna have a very bad time, as we have seen. CDEC, props to them for having the audacity to kind of go out there, because they double smoked up. They knew that they needed to kind of take that fight, go into the rush, take more objectives. But with that kind of missing out, no black hole for 100. Ample enough time for VG to rip the objectives apart in the high ground if they want to commit.
Absolutely, and they go again. This time around, they don't have to worry about that big ulti. Tier 3 tower, going to be under siege, Vici Gaming. There is a buyback on the TA, but it's only 20 seconds respawn. You'd rather not commit it. Especially against the Aegis of Erica. Bit of a waste of money here for the TA to try and commit. We go again. On to the Wind Ranger, 7E. Oh boy. Disappearing act here from our Wind Ranger. Vici Gaming, they'll head down towards the bot lane of Barracks. Onto another. That tier 3 tower, not going to last too long, but you've got the TA. Problem is you're missing that Wind Ranger now.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Yeah, I mean, you really need... The shackles could be really big if we've seen it line up for a very good sun ray to pump out from Undyne. Without that additional control, just relying solely on Imitator just is really tough for the Tiny to do everything the team needs all at once. Fortunately for the side of CDEC, they are protected from Megas. There is still a tier 2 standing up top. So the side of VG is going to have to back off. A little aside here, Mike. Your interpretation of the prediction was right. It is just asking for whoever isn't dead once all of them.
I knew it. I knew it.
Yeah. And that's... The wording's just so weird.
It is. I agree. I'm not saying you're wrong, John. You are not wrong. I knew that there was something up. That's how Gaben gets you, Jonathan. That's how he gets you. There's no such thing as free battle points in this battle pass. No, sir. By the way, I was wrong anyway, so don't worry. So I didn't get the points, even though I did, end up predicting the correct way. I still lost.
Oh my god. It's confusing. I was like, because if it's that way, then it could go really weird. Because, you wouldn't predict the support at all. But if it is the last player overall to die, you'd reckon, you know what, a support's just going to feed randomly after GG's called. That tends to happen a lot. Good scan out, but they can't catch XM. He does manage to bail out. Another smoke play out from CDEC, but now they're on a very different side of the map compared to where VG's at with their own smoke. And they don't really have vision. They don't have any good idea, but they get the good line drawn. They do have a rough gauge as to where CDEC is, and this could be dicey. Black hole's up, refresh is up for Xiangyu. This could be the turning point as well for CDEC if they catch XM in.
Let's see Xiang Yu, can he do it again? High ground, CDEC, they've got the advantage here. Vici, they have no idea. Yang, he's going to break the smoke and actually sees the Enigma. They'll see them out at least, but the Wind Ranger will jump in. 70, he's already found Yang, but there's your Rolling Thunder. XM going to move in. There's your first Black Hole. They want to get rid of the Pangolier. They don't want that bash available. XM's gone. Where's the refresh? Erica, he's made the jump in with the Black Hole. It's going to come out again. Xiang Yu trying his absolute best to turn this one around, and he may have just done it. Or has he? QAQ still trying, but no Erica. He'll jump right back in. Onto the egg they go. 70, he just fought back, but it's just so much damage from Erica. In fact, that's not just damage, John. That's some emotional damage from Vici Gaming. As they land the perfect black holes, but it's not going to matter. Onto the tier 4 tower, surely. There's 2 down without buyback. Do they go for tier 4s?
I mean, they're still a tier 2 top. They can't go for another set of racks, so they're gonna have to go for the all-in play. Without the threat of Black Hole, Nat TA is very manageable. It's not a threat at all. And you've got the shard up on VAB, so you are speeding up this push by a massive amount with that armor reduction.
This game might just be over. They've got to jump in sometime soon. Maybe a toss back into the fountain could do it. QAQ, he's going to try. Onto Erica they go.
Oh.
Aegis is still up for another 30 seconds. It's just not going to be enough. He's fine. Onto the Ancient once again. This game, it's over. GG is called. Vici Gaming, they pull off the Game 1 victory here against CDEC. Sadly for CDEC, John, it looked like they might have had a good chance after that 4-man black hole, but it just doesn't work out in the end for them. Still a great game number 1 between these two. Can't wait to see how game 2 goes.
Yeah, a lot of back and forth coming out there. Xiang Yu delivering the goods once he had that blink up, blink BKB, and he just manages to land that big black hole. I think on the